Yeah, I said it. It's your boy D Mac, and I'm back. This is like a caveat to my last video because I had a conversation with some people, and we were talking about what is success. Because some people idea of success is different than another person's based on your life, your experiences, your environment, and things like that. So I would like to say that success to one person can be excess to another person. Case in point, we in America are an excessive people. This is a country where we will call somebody impoverished and poor, but they're obese. That mean they eating good. That mean that they have something in their stomach regardless of their financial situations. And so on one point we will see this as poverty because they're having to rely on somebody else to get what they need. But in other countries where you have people who are digging through a hard cold ground with a shovel just to get a potato to eat, they see our life as successful. And so I attribute that to being on these different platforms and building up these platforms. And a lot of people will see having a lot of numbers, a lot of views, and a lot of likes and things of that nature as being successful. And if you're basing it on a capitalistic mindset, then and you're absolutely right. That is success in a capitalistic mindset. But to look at that from another mindset, other people such as myself, I see my message being heard by one person. That's success. That's absolute success because I came with an idea and a plan and a way to execute that, and I executed it, and the end results thereof were some that I like, some that I was favorable to. And so that's a success for me. I don't measure my success in numbers, in stats, and money and things like that. My successes are more a internal success. My successes are more of a spiritual thing. It's not that outward thing. It's always something intangible. I'm always trying to impart something intangible into people. And so you're not going to right away see the benefits of that, or you're not going to right away see the results of that. So sometimes you can plant a seed and just go off and just later on down the line, somebody will probably hit you up and be like, man, you remember when so and so and so and so? Yeah, bro, that helped me out and that set me on the path to this. I have so many of those stories in my life from people who the average person wouldn't call a success. And I mean street people. I was out there doing my thing in the streets and wilding out when I was younger and couldn't nobody, well, we say that couldn't nobody tell us nothing, but I was listening, man, when those OGs was talking to me, man, and they thought I wasn't listening because I would hear it and I would just keep going and I wouldn't give them my undivided attention. But best believe me, to all you OGs that spoke into my life, man, I was listening. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time out of whatever you was doing, or even if you wasn't doing nothing, just for you to have it on your heart to try to impart something in me. I brought that with me, man, and I'm still here today because of y'all OGs, man. So I thank y'all. Y'all brothers are successful. Y'all are more successful than them dudes on Wall Street. Y'all are more successful than any athlete. Y'all are more successful than anybody that we watch on TV or anything like that because you did something that was placed on your heart and your mind and in your spirit to do, and you executed it and without hesitation, and the seed was planted, it was watered, and it bore fruit. You, my friend, are successful. You have been a success, and I applaud you for that. I give an applause to every last one of you for that because you have been a success in my life, and you have been a direct part of some of the successes in my life. And that's going to carry on to my kids and their mindset, and they're going to have some successes in their lives based on what you imparted in their father. So now let's get a clear understanding of this term success, because I remember back before I was banned off Facebook, um, I did a little survey, you could say. I just posed a simple question: what is success? And a majority of the answers that I got from people, it involved money. It involved your status in society. It involved your job title and things of that nature. These are all of the common things that people attributed to success. You know, you had some sanctified and holy people that would come in and say success is having the mind of God. Truth lady, bless you, my sister. How you doing this morning? God bless you, my queen. Thank you for coming in, man. And so people like Truth Lady, people like um, uh, Dr. Walls, people, all of the people that I was naming in my last video, this is my tight circle, and these people impart into me. They don't have to. What are they getting out of it other than the growth and the spiritual benefit that they get from whatever's on their heart to do? But you know, these people choose to impart things into me, man, and I'm so thankful for it. And these people are a success in life, because I guarantee you, when you go before that judgment seat and you don't have all of those shiny things to show, and you can't pull out your bank account slip and show that and make an impression, what will you have that would be impressive to the Creator, to the Most High? What can you say, or what can you show that would have him say, well done? You know what I'm saying? This is success. And so when we talk about successful people, when I look at people and I start to appreciate a person, or I say that I admire a person, it absolutely has nothing to do with those outward intangible things. It has everything to do with what this person contributes to our world, what he contributes to our children, what he or she contributes to our community. These are the things that I look for in a person, that I would even think about saying that I admire. So, you know, we're on here, and there's a lot of people that talk. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things that are funny. In particular, there's a guy that I love. He's a UFC fighter, and his name is Derek Lewis. Y'all, if you're into mixed martial arts, everybody know who I'm talking about, because he's quickly become one of the most loved fighters in UFC history. He currently holds the record for knockouts in UFC. Now, he's not one of those guys who wins every fight. He's not one of those guys who's up front and has to be seen and look at me all the time. He's a quiet guy. He's a gentle giant in all rights and intents. He's a soft spoken man. But when he speaks from his soul, he speaks from his heart, and he's telling you the God's honest truth of how he's feeling in that time. There was one fight that he had just won the fight, and Joe Rogan was interviewing him, and he took his pants off, his little trousers, and Joe asked him, "Hey, why you take your pants off?" He said, "Man, my balls is hot." You know, it's just like you talking to one of your friends at the creek, or you in the gym and you talking to one of your friends in the locker room, and it was so honest and so pure, man. And the guy just speaks like that. And so you know how the interviewer has to hype you up. Be like, "So you just beat so and so, and now everybody's talking about you and throwing your name in the hat for a title match against so and so. What do you feel about that?" You're like, "Man, I need to go sit my black ass down somewhere. F what you talking about." Like, man, I'm tired. I can't go to 5 rounds. If it's 3 rounds, I take it. But these 5 round, man, I ain't got the win for that. I'll go sit down somewhere. Real brutally honest, because as a fighter, I know that everything is about our reputation, and we try to put on this facade that we the baddest thing in the world, and we like titanium, can't nothing destroy. What's that material that was in Wakanda that everybody was trying to get, the mantium or whatever it's called. We try to make it seem like we built out of that. That's what a fighter is known for, how tough they are, how strong they are, how much they can take, how much they can unleash, but he has none of that bravado. And man, this is what makes me respect this man. And this is what makes me follow his Instagram. This is what makes me, when I see his name pop up on YouTube, I'm going to go check out his video, because I know I'm going to get the real Derrick Lewis. I know I'm going to get honesty. And I know I'm just going to have a good time, man, watching this brother be himself, man. And it's a beautiful thing to see. This is something that is so missing. And the reason that a person like Derrick Lewis stands out so much is because the world has become so shallow. The world has become so shallow and so superficial that a person just being straight up honest is a phenomenon to people, because it's outside of the norm of being superficial and shallow. That's a sad state for us to be in. Now, I hate Jesse. Well, I'm sorry. I take that back. God forgive me. I don't hate Jesse Lee Peterson. I hate the spirit in which Jesse Lee Peterson operates, but I don't hate that man. You know what I'm saying? I hope that man gets some help, and I hope he gets on the right spiritual track and quit manipulating the word of God and stuff like that for a political gain. And it's so much with that guy. But one thing that I do agree with Jesse Lee Peterson on is the fact that we are in a fallen state. Mankind is in a fallen state. We've fallen so far, morality wise, values wise, structure wise, and just straight uh just just self-love. We have absolutely no love for ourselves, and that's why we allow these things to slip. And so I do agree with Jesse Lee Peterson on that one single thing 100%. We are absolutely in a fallen state. That's why a person just being honest and doing something that is just a bare minimum requirement of us as human beings stands out and seems extraordinary, is because all of us are living below where we should as a human. And I'm talking humanity wise. Our humanity is gone as people, and it's just going to get worse. So when all of your humanity is gone, what is left to revert to or to go to? Well, now you're going to start taking on that animalistic trait, because remember, you no longer have any humanity left in you. All of the things that would separate you from an animal and make you a human, you have allowed those things to decrease and be desensitized so much within you that now they're gone. So what are you going to go to? You're going to go to animalistic behavior. That's next. And so to keep myself from going to this animalistic state of being, then I have to keep a certain level of humanity going within me. I have to stay balanced. I'm not a perfect person. I'm telling you right now, one of the main reasons why DMAC did not want to have a huge platform is because if you go back and start digging in DMAC's past, you gonna find some things in DMAC past that you like, wow, I would have never thought. Dang, some people would even look at me differently if they saw some of those things from DMAC's past. So that's why DMAC, that's one of the reasons why DMAC don't really care too much about being no big provider, content provider, is because now that magnifying glass gets put on your life. And my life has been far from perfect. You know, I've done so many things in my life, right, wrong, good, bad, and ugly. And, you know, I have some regrets, but some things I understand that they had to take place in order for me to move forward and be in the place that I am in my life now. And if those things would have never occurred, or I would have never made those mistakes, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be who I am today. So I understand that, but that's why D-Max say, hey, I know I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to come on here and portray to be nobody perfect. I'm not trying to portray to be somebody who know everything, because one thing I do know is that I don't know nothing. I believe a lot of stuff. I've researched a lot of information that strongly backs a conclusion to lean towards stuff, but I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, man. And anybody who comes at me claiming to know anything is going to get us the same response from me all the way across the board. You know, I have a lot of the people that I grew up with, a lot of the brothers that I grew up with have gone on to become Hebrew Israelites, and they've become a lot of the Moorish brothers as well. And I respect these brothers because we all came from the same place. You said no hope, no God, no hope. That's beautiful. I got to put that up there. And I'm going to leave that right there because that is it. But yeah, my brothers, I grew up with them. We all come from the same place. We come from the same circumstances. We come from the same environment. And to see these brothers grow and flourish in their belief, man, is a beautiful thing. And I love it and I encourage it all the way. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow them to, you know, try to discredit or downgrade or minimize my belief in order to lift theirs up. And this is something that I constantly remind my brothers whenever we have our discussions and things, because I love having open dialogue with them, because they put me up on things that I didn't know that's either going to confirm or deny, or, you know, something that I was thinking. That's that part of that iron sharpening iron. And so I love having these conversations with these brothers. And so when I do, you know, oftentimes these brothers they'll say something like, well, you believing in that, and they'll try to discredit the sources that I get information from. And then in the same breath, they'll go on to highlight the sources which they got their information from, and the validity of their source is no greater or worse than mine. And so I'm sitting here while this brother is going on and saying what he's saying and trying to beat home these points. I'm just thinking to myself. So right now you're sitting here and you're saying that my information and my sources, for which I've obtained my belief system, is wrong and is crazy because your source from which you got your belief system makes you feel so strongly. I'm not understanding your logic. I'm not understanding what so basically now what you're trying to do without saying it is you're trying to get me to abandon my whole entire belief system and come to your belief system based on how strongly you feel about your belief system. Okay, brother. If that's where your mind is, if that's where your level of thinking is, brother, then I'm going to let you be there, and I'm going to let your higher power deal with you on that level the same way he dealt with me when I was on that level and I was doing that to brothers. And when he brings you up out of that and he brings you to a level of maturity to where you understand that you do not have to go to those tactics, that's where your flesh is starting to come in and your carnal nature is starting to come in, and you're allowing your emotion to mix with the spiritual message that you're bringing. Now you've compromised the word. Now you've compromised the message, and you've blown your witness. And so I'm very careful about that. I'm very mindful of that when I speak to people and when they speak to me, because I don't receive everything into my spirit like a lot of people do. That's a very, very tricky thing to play with and a very slippery slope. So I feel like in my life, I've been successful because I know my purpose and I often operate in my purpose. Sometimes I see the end result, sometimes I don't. But as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm gonna be fulfilled. I'm gonna be satisfied. I'm not gonna need outward validation. And I'm not gonna be rattled by criticism and people who have something to say about my path and my purpose, because they did not mandate to me what my purpose and my path was. So it is not for them to know what my purpose and my path is. They'll see the fruits of my labors, because God is always going to show your enemy when he exalts you. He's gonna exalt you in front of all of those naysayers and all of those people who spoke against your purpose, and you standing firm in it, because it's not for them to understand. It's for you to understand, for you to properly operate within it. And if they're operating in a spiritual realm properly, then they'll be able to see and understand your purpose. So that's all I got to say on that, man. I want to just end on that note before I start rambling, because I can easily do that. I know a lot of words, but just truth, lady, much love to you, my sister. I thank you for tuning in like you always do. Um, Everybody else that I've spoke about, and if I missed the name, charge it to my head, not my heart. Um, oh, if you love jewelry, if you are into energy, if you're into crystals and things of that nature, go and check out She's 520 Creations. You can find it on Instagram, you can find it on Facebook, but go check out She's 520 Creations. This Jasmine Lax, she's a very knowledgeable sister. She's a very into the spirituality and the energy that flows through our chakra and things of that nature, and she can assist you in harnessing that energy and directing that energy and things of that nature. So once again, She's 520 Creations. You can check her out on Instagram, you can check her out on Facebook, and yeah, DMAC endorses it, man. And just I'm gonna leave on that note. So y'all know what I say, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't leave yet. I got another promo. Quail Camaris. Uh, you can find him also on Instagram. You can find it on TikTok. You can find him on Facebook. He does a number of things. One thing he does, he has a business where he cleans and pressure washes surfaces. If you need that service done, it's Marquell King. So you can go on his Instagram, you can go on his Facebook and find him, Marquell King. And then he is bringing out shoes. He's bringing out his shoe brand, Quail Camaris. And those same platforms, you can also find that there. So shout out to Quail, shout out to Jasmine Lax. Hey, y'all support black business. This your boy D Mac. You know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.